What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. It's been a while since I played True Draco Eldlich, and someone in the comment section had, asked if I could play it again. So I thought, yeah, sure, why not? So this first, replay is against Dark Magicians. Not the greatest thing in the world, but I have a lot of replays to show you. Some cool interactions here. Mainly that you can destroy Pantheism in your hand with Dragonic Diagram, which is kind of cool. You get to play really powerful floodgates like Summon Limit, of course, which is pretty much good against everybody. The hard draw, the Golden Land Forever is kind of crummy. It's definitely a break. It's not my normal Eldlich engine, but see if I can make do. This doesn't have a pop or anything like that. There we go. Now I can pop the Pantheism. Pantheism can then search me so that I can swap these out. He can't go into the extra deck anymore. And then I can get over this, Link monster. Putting him in a pretty difficult spot. He did, I think he forced himself to top deck. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why. I feel like there's just better things that you can do, but okay. He's going to have a negate here, which is kind of interesting, but I'm going to now have this kind of loop to go through, meaning I can pop a spell card and then pop a monster, which is kind of neat. And then also, of course, I get the trap back, so you just get so much advantage in it, and, it is kind of bricky. It can be. That's what I'm really working on the most. I top deck of Backrow, so I'm getting all these like random one-ofs in the Eldlich engine and not the one that gets it started. So, but in any case, I'm going to be able to do the exact same thing as I did last time. I got a spell and a trap. You can't go into the extra deck, obviously. Magician's Navigation, I can at least add this to my hand. He's going to bring out a Dark Magician and something else. Again, I feel like there's better targets. I do not play Apprentice Illusion Magician, and normally I don't even play Magician's Navigation. It's like, it can be really, really bricky. I guess Magician's Souls kind of fixes that problem, but if you hard open it with a bunch of other random stuff, like the Eye of Timaeus and like Dark Magician Girl, dude, he's like playing every brick in existence. But in any case, he's got 3 Dark Magical Circles. I do get the card of Demise, but I don't really have the zones. I can free up one of them, but I kind of, maybe drawing 2 is good enough. I'm not sure. I'm going to avoid banishment. These are unaffected by card effects, so it really didn't do anything at all, but okay. I have the Backrow. Hopefully card of Demise can come down next turn. We'll see. He's going to pop the summon limit, so honestly, I'm not in a good spot, like, at all. Like, now he's starting to overgain advantage on me. He's going to negate the effects of this. I think he kind of wasted it, to be honest with you, but okay. Allure of Darkness. Again, that's another card I don't like playing in Dark Magicians, because, like, okay. What if Dark Magician's the only card in your hand, and then you draw into something like a Magician's Navigation, then you just have to banish your Dark Magician. Just wasting, like, the opportunity. Dark Magic Attack. Oof. Okay, so now I get to draw 3, and obviously you have to draw into something good eventually. I'm going to pop the Eternal Soul now that I got that off the board. Luckily because of the domain, and then this can't be destroyed by card effects, but of course I'm going to start like this. This is pretty much the end of the duel, right? Even though I had just enough life points, for the Red Eyes Flare. He's going to be able to go over this, but I will pop it. That's pretty nice, right? And the only thing I have to stop is this Eternal Soul, and I have the negate for it, so sorry, not sorry. I've been holding this literally since turn 1, and now I can't even imagine how, long this duel's gone on. So that was just like a really strange kind of outcome, but yeah, that was pretty fun. We'll go over everything else now. I think this is probably like a weird version of B Trooper. Or no, maybe a little standard, actually. Sometimes, like, the thing that's really cool is, like, okay, so he didn't ash that, meaning that he's just like, okay, that's like pretty much it, because I'm not going to activate any more effects to get through my engine. Like, there's nothing else I have to do. I just normal summon there, set the other, Scarlet, which is okay, because he's domain locked, meaning that most people's answers, the thing is like, most people's answers are in the extra deck, and sometimes, like, the extra deck is just a mediator process to get you to something else. But in this case, you physically cannot go into your extra deck. They're not negated. They can't go into it. So, like, yeah, like, this is just it. Fusion Destiny doesn't do anything. Like, these little, you can summon all the bodies that you want, but they're not big enough, Just kind of neat. This is Hero. I'm sure most of these replays are seriously like very similar to that. I wish Cardinalize was at 3 personally, but I don't know what it would be so good in that we just couldn't. Well, I guess Eldlich would like really get boosted. It's a good card. Drawing 3 cards, very good. When you activate that card, I can't imagine you won't win. I discarded the Ignis, which is kind of cool because I did have you know, the Maiden. I waited to activate this effect like simply because of you know, playing around Gamma. Why not? I'll summon this from the deck. Let's see. He's going to draw a couple cards. I'm surprised he didn't like take control of this, to be honest with you. Although I guess he couldn't have gotten over it anyways. Or gotten rid of it, I should say. He can't go to the extra deck. And the thing is that in this replay, I was like looking at this. It's like he's summoning like a billion times, but he can't get over it. He can't do it, which is hilarious. There's nothing he can do about it. And even if he like did try to activate Elemental Hero Neos, like actually just like pop like in the battle phase, and that's all he had. So you know, Miracle Contact, Neos Fusion, these cards are dead. Can't go into his Link monsters. This is Cyber Dragon. A lot of monsters in my opening, but I still have the essential part of it, and this a lot of the times will be enough. We'll see if it is here. Again, I feel like every single time I play one of these duels, it's like they like go further and further, just trying to go through combos, but without their lines, there is no lines. They can just summon 1,000 times if they want to. And I do have a monster pop too, because I can normal summon. So sometimes having multiple names in your hand isn't the worst thing in the world. Which is what I'm going to do here. Because I think this quips and it like sends something. Yeah, you can send. Oh no, maybe it's just like one monster from your deck, the extra deck. I know there's one that equips that lets you like send like Elder to you know, the graveyard, but otherwise it's completely fine. Again, against Cyber Dragons, probably Cyber Darks, or maybe this is a more pure version. And you know, that's why I play Solemns in this deck, you know, because of this specifically, like to protect your back row. I think you kind of just have to, or else like you're just gonna lose like 90% of the time. And there we go. Because now that when Summon Limit gets popped up, like yeah, it's gonna make all the difference in the world. And a normal summon the core. And I will flip up the summon limit because it does count for those former summons. I was actually playing around something like Power Bond, because his like the second activation could have been like Power Bond or something. I think, or something like that. Or at least I played enough. Like you don't have to activate this so early on. You can just, especially if they have like Fusion Destiny in your hand. That's also like a thing. Like oh, let me combo first and then activate Fusion Destiny. Once they go into their second summon, then you activate Summon Limit. Like that's just like a better play, obviously. Scarlet can go ahead and search. I mean, now that my engine's here, it's pretty much GG's. I draw into a Monarch's Erupt, which is so dope. And then I have like both of these. That's the end of the duel. I think this is another duel against Dark Magician. It may have been a match. I don't remember. I can pop the Hakero, so that also gets my engine going, which is kind of nice. I wish this was at 3. The hits to True Draco are just insane. Like, maybe Masterpiece, like, sure, that's kind of crazy, but otherwise, I feel like a lot of these cards come with a ban list. Draconic Diagram, like, come on, dude. He's gonna special summon there. I'm going to negate the other one because I think it's a gain effect can apply to the other apprentice, so I'm still, you know, preventing him from going into the extra deck here. Then, you know, in the end phase, I'll activate, you know, Eldlich. We'll go to the next turn. Because then that means Scarlet can replace itself too. He's going to special summon a Dark Magician. Like, good for you. And then I can, you know, tribute summon, meaning I'm going to get both of these kind of in the loop. He top decks the Palladium Oracle Mahad, which, I don't know, I just don't think it does enough. It's a neat card, but super bricky. And also maybe not always useful. I can pop the Eternal Soul, which is going to pop both of these. I think Palladium's going to special summon a Dark Magician from the deck. I'll just pop that to lower its attack and then destroy it. And I think you just had to go to the end phase, yeah. So probably flip those face up, and this is either Yeah, this is very close to lethal. I thought it was lethal. It was very close. I still have another pop, which I can't imagine won't be more than enough to get this done. He didn't even get anything off the top. I'll pop it just for the flex, and then with only 100 life points left. Yeah, that's definitely going to be game. This is against Floowandereeze. Sure. Summon Limit's a really, really, really good card against Flu. I think it's like literally one of the best traps I think you can have against them. And I'm just gonna, I probably could have played this a little different. I don't know why. There's no real need, especially if I have like a Cosmic Cyclone, like all that kind of stuff. Maybe they want to blindly fire it into something else, but you know, Monarch's Erupt is also just an insanely good card against like Floowandereeze. They can't play without it. And then I have an Omni Negate just in case of something else. With only 2 summons, the effects can't even activate. Like, yeah, that's the end of the duel. It's pretty much like whoever goes first in the Flu matchup wins, in my experience. This is against Gran Maju. This is a very bizarre matchup, I suppose. He's going to draw a couple cards here. He does get the Gran Maju, which is super nice. He's playing a Pot of Duality version, which I've also considered, because, I mean, really the most important interaction is this normal summon, so I guess it depends on if you want to play Dangers or not, but I guess Dangers are probably objectively better. I was able to get over like both forms of his like interruption. I don't even know why he solemned that normal summon. I think that's kind of silly. I do have protection in the form of this Hakero, so that's pretty good. I'm going to be able to get it off the field, too. He's got to draw 2 coming next turn, which is kind of rough for me. And I'll go ahead and send the Scarlet, because the Scarlet can replace itself. So I do have another body in place here. Well, I got 2 bodies. So I have a Conquistador pop this turn, plus a Solemn. I think I'm just going to let that go through, because I kind of have to save the Solemn for something else. I don't know what it is exactly, but maybe something like a Dogmatic Punishment to like save my life points. Because I also just want to keep this Conquistador pop. Alright, I'm going to give myself an Omnigate and a pop, but I will probably have to use this Omnigate before anything else. He top decks another Pot of Extravagance, like must be nice. But he gets into a Pot of Extravagance, so it's kind of convenient. He can't actually summon back the Orochi anymore, and the reason I did that, well, first of all, because of that specifically, but also, like, if he does summon a Gran Maju somehow, I just at least have the body to block that attack. And if he does have another, like, way to get this on the board, like a Monster Reborn, I can at least take 1 hit. Because he's only down to, like, 6 cards at this point. Paying that life point, I don't know. I honestly don't know if this was the right decision at all. I guess, really what I probably should have done is just activated it and then just called it a day, but okay. Again, I still have that body, so I was just going to take out his back row. 1,500 is enough, so we'll see what happens when I get off the top. Kind of nice, because I'm going to be able to send that Pantheism and give myself a giant body that can't be destroyed by card effects. And I didn't have enough copies of anything at the time, so it's like just Pantheism is going to have to do. But he didn't have anything. I mean, look at all 3 copies of Dimension Shifter, and then he can't draw any cards anymore. I don't know what he had left, but that's pretty cool. Alright, so we'll go into the other game against Gran Maju. Again, it looks like a pretty good opening. The Imperial Order, of course, is very good. And a couple of Solemn Strikes. Like, he's going to have a decent setup. Like, no doubt at all. Alright. Thinking back, I actually probably should have saved this open zone. So I'm trying to play around Imperm the best I can. But if I activate this, he doesn't have any targets for Imperm. You know, being able to normal summon over the Cursed Eldlich is like such a fun interaction. He's going to activate Crackdown. That's going to trigger the Maiden. I mean, playing, like, when I think back on this, like, should I have even tried to activate, like, the idea of having 2 Solemn Strike in your opening, I just feel like it's so rare. I feel like it was much more common to be like an Imperm, but he did have the second Solemn, so the Monarch's Erupt is like offline, which, you know, that card's really good against Gran Maju, of course. So it's probably the wrong decision. I'm definitely willing to admit that. So now I just have to like hard draw another monster, which is super duper unfortunate. He still would have had outs to it. So I guess at the end of the day, I got rid of one of his solemns. He's gonna go ahead and pop that. I have a lot of life points to kind of mess around with here still. You know, the Scarlet. I was trying to trigger out like maybe something from the back row because I do have the Scarlet. It's gonna bring it back anyways. I'll activate this, and then he surrendered again. Like he's just like down, I guess, to a few life points, which is kind of funny. And I still had a lot. It was kind of nice to be able to have like a really weird kind of grindy duel against somebody. Like that shows a different part of the deck. I feel like because most of the time all you want to do is just, you know, domain lock them and hope that wins you the duel. But of course, not every deck goes in the extra deck religiously. Alright, I can do that and dump the Conquistador so that I do have an Omni-Negate online. During the standby phase, I will go ahead and activate this so that my Golden Lane Forever is online. He's going to set 5 and pass, so I'm like, what in the world am I playing? This deck was actually pretty cool. And okay, I just got in for, like, that's an even weirder feeling when you, like, attack directly with 5 back row and nothing happens. You're like, what? Okay, so he's going to use Torrential Tribute. I'm going to go ahead and activate the effect of the Monarch Syrup so at least it's online for the rest of the turn. He's going to go ahead and pop the, pop with the Paleozoic Olendoides. I don't know how to say that. Okay, so I'm going to keep triggering my effects. I do have a Solemn Judgment now, so I'm going to have to use that very sparingly. I'll go ahead and negate the effects of Lord of Heavenly Prison so that I can pop the back row. And still, I have some decent advantage going here. Decent advantage indeed. He's got a lot of random stuff. So he's going to go for the Paleozoic Dinomitius, but I do want to keep like all of his effects negated because I'm sure he like has all these, you know, totally awesomes, like everything like that in the deck. All right. I have a lot of monsters in my hand because I'm sure I've activated this like 1,000 times. Preventing him from going into the extra deck too is also kind of nice. And at this point, I've taken out every single brick from the deck. I think these are like all the monsters I own. I may have another copy of like Majesty Maiden, like something like that. You need to activate another Torrential Tribute, which is kind of unfortunate. But at least I get to draw a card, and it is a Dragonic Diagram. But whatever the case may be, I still had plenty of ways to Tribute Summon. And then I can go ahead and activate this from the deck. I'm going to pop that. He's going to, stack his deck with the King Packjack, whatever it is. And then I'm going to pop a card just so I can get this, like, loop going, like, initially. So I can, maybe pop the True Draco Heritage and go from there. Which is what I do. And this is going to get popped. Giving me, finally, like, the entire duel I was just spent trying to destroy his background. And I finally did it there. Some of these are probably just going to be really random. This is the Phantom Knights, okay. And it's kind of a fairly standard list, fairly. He does have the Scythe Lock, but yeah, the Scythe Lock of course doesn't do anything against this deck. Definitely doesn't. Alright, this is a Synchro deck. I do have the ability to side in cards like Nibiru, which is kind of neat. A little bit of flexibility when it comes to hand traps. Not a lot, though. Basically, I guess this is probably the only card that works for me. Although I think I have like Imperm and Nibiru, so I guess I had like 6 targets to like break his board. And I'm just going to go ahead and Nibiru there on the Junk Speeder. A little bit of a big body for sure. I don't think he could combo through this. He goes for Chaos Ruler, so maybe he will be able to. Depends on what he gets. I'm sure he's going to add that effect failure to hand. That's my guess. No, he adds Doppelganger. I feel like he'd rather have the Disruption, right? He goes for the Solemn Judgment, which I suppose that makes sense, but I also do have the Summon Limit. He protects his Chaos Ruler, I guess, with this Cyber Secron, which is kind of neat. I'm going to go ahead and activate Summon Limit. And just everything else. So there's just no effects. I don't know why he didn't get over the Majesty Maiden. That's kind of strange to me. Top deck another Nibiru, which probably isn't going to do anything. Activates the Solemn Judgment there. Okay. Because he's essentially doing the, well, not doing the same thing, but he's not going to be able to do much under the summon limit. I'll activate the effect of Majesty Maiden to add another card to hand. He's going to get in for a decent amount of damage, but I still have a way to tribute summon, and that was a pretty nice top deck. So I'm going to be able to pop my own Eldlich, and then I can get my own Eldlich back, you know, helping me finish off his life points here. That was a lot closer than I thought it would be, honestly. This is just a disgusting opening. It's so disgusting. Why he's playing Tribute, Torrential Tribute in his Seacrog deck, I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm pretty much just going to negate the summon of Junk Speeder, and that will likely do the trick for me, because he can't combo. During the end phase, go ahead and activate that Scarlet Sanguine. Scarlet can go ahead and banish, probably give me the Golden Land Forever Omni negate. I'm going to attack directly. He's going to negate the effects of Lost Wind and then Imperm, which is like, that's cool, man. Like, alright. Even negating the effects of Eldritch. I mean, it makes it easier to get over, of course, but meh. And I'm going to, you know, negate the effects so that Torrential Tribute can go through. And, you know, it's good because it was, like, negated in half attack. And then once the summon limit comes down, he's like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. And last duel is against Phantom Knights. Once again, I think maybe this was a match. I don't know. Yeah, Fusion Destiny. I mean, this is about what you're going to get here. Cursed Eldlin can come down. I'm going to be able to normal summon over it, which is always pretty neat. You know, I can send the Conquistador, and then I can set Scarlet. So I have Omni Negate, Summon Limit, and then I banish from the graveyard, which is probably going to be pretty good. Hopefully I like do the proper thing with Summon Limit here and wait till his second summon to, yeah, there we go. Again, playing around Fusion Destiny, because how would he ever know that I'm playing Summon Limit? And that's the end of the duel. So, pretty nice. I'll do an updated deck profile, you know, sooner rather than later. I'm still messing around with stuff. I kind of want to, like, reshape it. But, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.